Well, now, this is Sean Evans. And one thing I like to do other than drinking is drink with my buddy Mo. So I'm here drinking at Mo's.
This is Drinkin Atmos, where we talk about the pros of pro wrestling in the Midwest while sipping on some brews with blessed beers and wrestling. That's my scene. Death matches and lucha libre, it's also mean. I'm a straight up smart goofball, not no kiss ass. I stand tall when it comes to wrestling. I'm the king. I know every move, every fling. Get ready for a wild time with Drinkin Atmos, where we don't quit. Drinkin Atmos, that's where it's at, like a power bomb. We hit hard, never flat. Fucking right, we're living the dream. Talking about wrestling, always a scream.
You know, I've always said here at Drinkinatmos, just because it says drinking at Mo's does not mean it has to be alcoholic. So I'm happy to say Drinking at Mo's is sponsored by Prince Nana Coffee. The exact same guy you see every week on Dynamite, on Collision. Yes, he has his own coffee and it's freaking delicious. They don't even roast those beans until you've placed your order. And you might be telling me, hey, Big Mo, I'm more of a tea guy. They got you covered there too. Use the referral link in the description of this video. And let's get you dancing like Prince Nana with Prince Nana Coffee. All right, everybody, welcome. Drinking at Mo's. Big Mo here. You know the drill. YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff everybody always says, because YouTube's algorithm continues to be a pain in the ass. Most places you can find the audio podcast platforms too. Don't forget about those. Today, I'm excited to have with me Sean Evans. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
Oh, I can't complain. I can't complain. My son is getting ready to have his first Halloween. We don't got too many first holidays left. And it's weird thinking that this Christmas technically won't be his first, since he was born Christmas Eve.
You got a baby.
Yeah. Yeah, he likes to make daddy's head double as a bongo.
Yeah, as a girl dad, I get it.
Yep, no, the boys do it too. He loves using my head as like a dang bongo. I'm like, you're lucky I love you, you little shit.
Yep. Every day.
Oh, every day. But man, when he flashes that smile at me, I'm like, oh, you're fine.
Yep.
Wrapped around his fucking little finger. Anyways, first thing I'd like to start off with everybody with is, what got you started as a fan? And then what got you deciding to make the leap into the business?
I've always been a fan. When I was younger, they had Saturday morning. It was Hogan and Ultimate Warrior Flair. And after a while, we didn't have cable anymore, so I didn't get to watch it until I was probably 15. I got cable again, and that was the King of the Ring. Shane McMahon and Kurt Angle went at it.
Oh boy, yeah, that
And
one.
I was like, oh, this is sweet. Like, I thought that was the coolest thing, right? So like after that, I was hooked. I watched and watched and watched, and after a while, I was in college, and there was just a little backyard group in my neighborhood.
How a lot of people seem to get started.
Yeah, yeah, it was a little 12 by 12 ring, and we messed around in that until, and at that time too, like there was only one wrestling school. I'm from Michigan, so like it was House of Truth, and it was 4 days a week. It was a lot of money, and I was about 2 hours north of there, so trying to do that was a little difficult until Pure Pro Wrestling came in, and they were about an hour south of me, and I started going there, and next thing you know, here I am 16 years later. I had Rohit Raju was in my class. Jake something was in that backyard group with us, so
That is that, well, pun intended, that is something. I funny memory for me involving Jake something, because I've ran into him a couple of times at a Sammy Callahan's promotion, Revolver.
yeah.
And the one chant, like Revolver gets a lot of great chants at the show, very entertaining stuff. The crowd is almost as entertaining as the show. But during one of his matches, the chant literally got going. There's something on your ass. I it was epic. I loved it.
That's funny.
Oh man, I'm like, damn it, why has nobody thought of that before that?
Right.
Because it's literally right there on his ass.
That's funny. Well, did you just see that match? It was the two Kyles that were wrestling each other. I think that was AEW. And like, let's go, Kyle. And both guys were Kyle. It was
Oh
Kyle
yeah.
O'Reilly and Kyle Fletcher.
Oh yeah.
Man,
yeah.
that was hilarious.
I know, man. For as much as some people give AEW crap, I'm not one of them. I mean, I can admit some of the stuff that could be better, but that right there, come on, dude. That
was gold.
That absolute gold. One of those moments. Okay, it's often been said, funny don't make money in wrestling. That was funny. That should have been making a boatload of fucking money.
Yes.
For both of them.
Yeah, especially with how viral it went too right after it happened. I mean,
oh yeah. So that was you getting in, man. I love hearing about how people get in because those origin stories. Lots of people love hearing about those. Hearing some of the similarities between different people, like the backyard stuff, and then there's always a moment where it's like, yeah, we love this, but maybe it's about time we actually get trained to like actually do this in front of like a legit crowd. Not that some of those backyard promotions, they pull some pretty big crowds from some of the footage that I've seen. Not to downplay the crowds that some of those places can bring in.
Right.
Yeah, so
that was the same way. Like we were like just kind of like, let's do it for real. We finally met the trainer of Pure Pro, Xavier Justice, and let's just do it. Let's just go. And we went.
And it's nice for guys like you that had at that moment independent promotion that you could go to, because for me, I mean, they probably, I think they actually got started after I had already left, but I didn't actually get my start watching independent wrestling until I was in the Navy in San Diego, and then just Googled pro wrestling in San Diego, and then there I went. And through there, ended up meeting a guy that has since passed on, but he ran a promotion up here. It's still going, but through him, I was like, well, I'm going to be going back home anyways, so why not check that out? And off to the races I went.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's been a fun time. And hell, even the podcast started off me just thinking it'd be fun to interview some of my friends in the business here, local to me. But then it's like, man, I'm going to run out of people eventually. Like, yeah, it'd be cool to, but having the same people on repeatedly a whole bunch of times, that just gets a little stale. No offense to any of my friends here. Love them to death. But I was just like, you know what? I want more. I know I can do more. And then off it went. Again, one of those off the races I went. And now I've had people like Bronson Reed. I had him on. I had a former Ring of Honor owner, Kerry Silken, on. Within the first 50 freaking episodes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And just thinking back to now, if I remember, if I remember correctly, this episode is either 389 or 390.
Wow. Good for you, man.
So yeah, when I got started, I never thought I would have gotten anywhere near this freaking close.
Yeah, that's good. That's a lot of episodes.
Here I am.
So when did you start doing this?
Oh God, trying to even remember. I'm one because it wasn't too long after I started my current like real job, and I've been there almost 4 years. So right about that long, maybe just a little under.
Wow, okay.
So
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So when it comes, another thing that I love hearing the origin stories, air quotes origin stories, is how people come up with the what eventually is the in-ring persona that sticks. Because like a lot of people coming up, that first little bit, figuring out what's gonna stick, what's not going to, what's gonna like feel like an extension of them. Because like Stone Cold, all-time favorite, Stone Cold said some of the best ones is just an extension of them turned up a notch. How did it come about for you?
Mine was actually recently. Like I've been doing, man, I've had so many different characters and names and stuff doing this, and for a while I was the big bad wolf Ace Evans, and I was in a group called the Nomads, and we're like a big biker thing.
I can, what? Now that you mention it, I kind of, I can see a little bit of that. I can see where that could have fit.
So like my tag partner, he's about 6'2", at the time he was 270, and all my guys in my group were big burly dudes. So it worked for a while, and then we all split our different ways. And it wasn't until I went and trained with EC3, it was 2 years ago now, that
Okay.
he's like, this isn't you. He's like, I don't know what you're supposed to be, but this isn't it. He's like, I just don't know what it is. So once my home promotion, we pulled the plug on the Nomad storyline. My promoter was like, well, what are you gonna do next? I was like, I don't know. And I would wrestle one of my best friends, Eddie Dillon, in his hometown at the same show, Pure Pro. And I just, as a goof, put on my dad's cowboy hat and pretend like I was a sheriff of the town, said that my town was better than his town, and I was gonna show everybody why. And everyone's like, dude, the cowboy hat fit. You should get a duster. You should try this. I'm like, I really don't want to do a cowboy thing, because like there's so many.
Yeah.
But growing up, my dad he's a country singer, and he had like three records overseas. So like I grew up around, the cowboy thing. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I'll give it a shot. And so ever since then, like this is the thing that's been making me the most money and getting me booked out of my state is now I changed my name to Sean Evans because now there's Ace Austin, Ace Velasquez, something. There's
Yeah.
another Ace under Ace Perry, so there's so many. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, we all can't be, you know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
let them have the name. I was like, well, I'm going to switch it anyway. It's time to switch it up a little.
Yeah.
Ever since then, like I've been wrestling more. I've been going like Pennsylvania more. I've been going down south more, Tennessee, Kentucky. There's a couple places that want me to come in now. So it's like, all right, well, had I listened to my promoter 10 years ago when he suggested this character, who knows where I'd be. But
Yeah.
hindsight.
No, that's awesome. I love hearing about that. And I just remember thinking, yeah, there are a lot of cowboy characters, but the ones that seem to really resonate still stick around regardless of however many there are. And actually, well, I mean, kind of currently there aren't that many like active. Like there's been a handful like throughout wrestling. I mean, we could name off a whole bunch of them, but each of them still had their staying power. Like, yeah, Billy Gunn's more known as a badass Billy Gunn, daddy ass, whatever the hell you want to. The guy, my wife likes to give me shit about being old. That guy is old, way
He's about
older than
50.
I am. But damn it, he don't look like he's aged a damn bit. But I still remember him from the Smoking Guns.
Yeah.
JBL, he's had a couple different, I mean, cowboy hattish gimmicks. He's had the rich, billionaires. JBL, he's had the blackjack character. So yeah, he's or Black Hawk or Justin Hawk Bradshaw. I believe that's what it was. Damn it, I've watched so much wrestling, sometimes these names just blend the thing together. But I love it. Now, one promotion that I've become somewhat familiar with through a few past guests, Chaos Wrestling. I saw a show coming up for them, or well, actually, I think it already happened.
Yeah, it was last Saturday.
Last Saturday.
Thomas Bailey and I.
Nightmare on 6th Street.
Yeah. And I still got it.
We got the belt. All right, I love
still
it.
Got it.
But yeah, I've become somewhat familiar with them through Stella Buho. Had her on. I've been, at least for the second season of the promotion, Fantastic League of Wrestling, been the podcast partner. So, and getting to watch some of Chaos Wrestling, I'm like, I just like the name. The name itself just, I gravitate towards intense personas in wrestling. Like, oh God, Samoa Joe and Tomohiro Ishii are two of my freaking favorites right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so much like their intense in-ring personas, the name Chaos Wrestling just resonates intensity to me. So what was going on there? I haven't been able to catch the show. I believe it's streaming. I don't know if they streamed live to where like it's available right away.
I think it goes to IWTV later.
Yeah,
I think they edited it and all this
as
stuff.
soon as it does, I will be watching that one.
Yeah. I gravitated towards it too because it has a very ECW feel, and like every time I go there, they change something. Like they got new entranceway, new lights, new this, new that. So it's like always looks like a super show. You know what I mean? And then like
something
you got all
that's evolving in the whole presentation.
And like and a lot of shows have been, but like Chaos has been really sticking out lately to me. And especially with the people they're bringing in, like they're bringing in more intense players and not just like, Jimmy over here, whatever. I mean, like they're bringing in characters that are drawing people to keep coming. Like Chaos ran the same night as XICW, and XICW had Killer Cross and Scarlet, and we were kind of a little scared, I'm not gonna lie, like, oh man, they might, but fans still came. They were still invested in the stories that we told, and and both shows were successful. So I was happy for both promotions.
Oh yeah, no, definitely happy, for both promotions there too, because I can understand running up against a show with somebody that's had the fans backing as much as Killer Cross has as of late. Even before the release from WWE, he was like, fans were getting behind him. Even
he was on fire.
Even more so now. So running up against that, I can see being a little like, oh shit. But I'm glad to hear it all went well. I'm glad to hear you guys had a great show there. I'm definitely looking forward to when it becomes available on IWTV because, yep, I keep my IWTV things ready to go. And whenever especially a past guest comes on, and I know they have a show coming on. I'm watching, and I've even had I've even had one time where I ended up interviewing somebody. We had to push it back a few minutes. I didn't realize that their show was going to be live on IWTV.
Oh,
So I ended up interviewing them directly after their match. And it was after I realized it was going to be after their match. I looked it up and I'm like, oh shit, that's live right now. So I ended up watching their match right before I ended up talking to them, which was, I don't have too many firsts left with them, especially the amount of episodes that I've had. That was a first. I've not had
yeah.
that happen.
At least I gave you something more to talk about too. You got to interview him after the match.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was pretty epic. Uh,
That's cool.
Eric Dillinger, love the guy.
Yeah, I like him.
Oh yeah, he's great. Now another promotion that I like the name of the show. I believe it's coming up here in like what, as of recording, day after tomorrow. Insane Wrestling Revolution Monsters Ball.
Yep.
Now, okay, if you can tell me, because I've yet to be able to actually look up the card. A show like having the name Monsters Ball, I'm hoping like hell there's a Monsters Ball match in there, because I mean the name of the show, it's gotta be in there.
Yeah, they usually do one every Halloween. I can actually look it up right now. They have like their whole card, or most of it anyway, online. Let's see.
Yeah, I was at work and I couldn't get on Facebook at work, so
I don't know if they have a Monsters Ball match. Maybe they don't. I mean, I'm sure they do because they do a lot of surprises too
oh
when people show up.
yeah, much like the original ECW, they would only actually name so like a handful of matches, but then there'd be so many more that would just be like somebody ran in at the end of the match, and then oh, here we got another match.
Yeah, like Rhino is on the card, but he doesn't have what he's doing. So he's the one that usually does them. So who knows what he's even doing. But
Hey,
yeah, that's another one too. Like, as much as I'm there, like even I get surprised at, I'll be watching, one time Sandman came out and Sabu came out, and all the ECW originals were there. It was really cool to see, and I didn't know, like and
yeah,
I was working there. So
that's awesome.
I even get surprised, which is fun.
Oh yeah, well, that is definitely a fun time. Like, yeah, there's always that thing of you go to a show like that, not expecting people like you mentioned coming out, and then that just leaves the crowd like, holy crap, you never know who's gonna pop up here. I I I don't think I can miss a show now.
Yeah, especially on a Thursday night and they're drawing 450, 500 on a Thursday night, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Independent shows running during the week can be a little iffy sometimes, but to be able to draw a crowd like that, solid.
Yeah, they do a good job. Rhino and Gary both, they do an amazing job promoting that and taking care of it. And man, it's fun.
Okay, Rhino. I mean, hey, I talk about a guy that I would love to have on. I know he don't drink, like actually drink, but I do say just because it says drinking at Moe's doesn't mean that it has to be alcoholic.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I do, but I'm very respectful of those that don't, because I mean, I've had plenty of people that straight edge on or recovering addicts. I've heck, had him on shortly after the video of him burning the IWA Mid South belt, Jake Christ. I had him
Jake.
literally. I was talking to him about the video and said, much like I'm wanting to say another ECW tie-in here. I'm wanting to say it was Paul Heyman that was the way he described convincing Stone Cold to come into ECW, where he's like, "You got a grievance, I got a show, let's air it." It was
Yeah.
much along that same line with Jake and that whole situation where I'm like, "You got a grievance, you got a story, I got a show, let's tell it."
And that was such a fun like story too, like watching the whole thing. And that kind of like reignited him as well. I feel
Oh,
like it kind of brought something more out of Jake. I've known Jake for a while too, so it's been fun to watch him.
oh yeah, no, he definitely looks like he is just having an absolute blast out there. And I've got to meet him a handful of times at Revolver, and like I was already a huge fan of him, especially after having him on the podcast, but even more as a person, that guy. Like I'll speak on this. My my wife and I were pregnant with twin girls. They were born premature and only made it a week. I get a little meh while talking about it. But for a while, the podcast stopped, the going to wrestling shows stopped. A Revolver show that he was on was one of the first ones I went back to going to, and him and I talked outside after the show, talked about the girls, talked about all that, and I'm like, man, I was already a big enough fan of yours before now, man. You're even more so now, man. Definitely meant a lot to me, and I will always give a shout out and love to that guy.
That's awesome. That's a cool story.
Oh yeah. Now, something that I've seen advertised on your page, and a lot of wrestling shirts. Now, I'm wanting to say I want to hear about this because I know especially on the independent scene, that's the way a lot of the guys are making their money. The shirts, the 8x10s. Now, designing those, I'm imagining I didn't get a full explanation of this. You're behind it.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome because I know, goddamn, loads of ECW tie-ins in this episode. I remember I'm wanting to say it was Taz was behind all the original ECW shirts, and so that is a great skill, useful skill to have because, like you mentioned, that's the way a lot of the guys are making their money. You know, because Lord knows some of the independent. Oh, what's the joke? Hot dog and a handshake.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way they get that money to get them through the roads. Now, with how did that come about that you started making them? Was it more you started on your own and then other people just started liking like that? That was solid work there, man. Could you, for me?
Yeah. Uh, so I was tired of waiting on people,
Mm,
and and I get like somebody like, oh yeah, your stuff will be done on XYZ date, and then XYZ date happens, and then 6 months go by, and I still, what I mean? So I got to a point where like, I'm just gonna do it myself. I'm just gonna learn, just for me. It wasn't to be like whatever it is now. It was just for me.
yeah.
And then I started showing up at shows with shirts, and they're like, "Who made your stuff?" I said, "Well, I made it." My wife and I, we worked on it together, and they're like, "Can you make me stuff?" I was like, I guess. So then, it started going from there. And then people wanted more because we started with vinyl, cricket, and all that, and
Yeah.
people want more design, more details. All right, well, let's if we're gonna do this, let's get a screen printer. So I started, we learned that. My wife Lisa, she figured it out first. So she figured it out, she taught me, and then when she started having, we had her babies and stuff, like she couldn't do it really anymore. So all right, well, I'll just jump in and do it. And at the time, I was working a 9 to 5 too, and she was working a 9 to 5. Um, and from there, it just kind of blew up. Like it was mostly Michigan and a little bit of Ohio. But then, like when COVID hit and I lost my job, and then when everything wrestling started again, I told my job, no, I'm not going to come back. And I was just going to focus on this. And ever since then, it like even got even farther. Like I'm working with NWA Exodus Pro. I'm working with a bunch of like guys that I watch on TV. I just sent stuff to Moose to take with him to Ireland, and I made for Rhino. I made stuff for Heath Slater. So like something that started off so small and so silly just for me. Never did I think I'd be making stuff for these guys.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like I sit here and think about that a lot. I look at like some of the shirts that I have hanging here, just for memory's sake of like who, and I'm like, man, this is just crazy. Never thought.
Oh yeah. No, that's much like I mentioned with the podcast, just thinking back, like some of the people that I've had on much along the same line, like, holy crap. Like this is cool. Like you mentioned Rhino, and we were talking about Insane Wrestling Revolution. I believe you had posted recently about having just completed some stuff for them.
I just did Detroit Red Wings inspired red and white logo shirts and hats. The last one was Detroit Lions inspired. Then like sometimes I get some like kind of crazy designs that are fun too, but it seems like they're starting to go like more sports themed right now, which is fun. So, but yeah, it's crazy how now like we're getting stuff going to Canada too. It's just kind of wild.
Oh yeah, going international. That's always fun. I've been lucky enough myself to develop a couple friendship with some promoters in Canada, which I haven't heard from one of them in a little bit. But hey, that happens. They're busy people.
And so my wife's like, "What are we gonna call this?" And I was like, at the time, I was doing like the boot wash in the corner was my finisher, and people started calling me Mr. Face Kicker. I was like, well, why don't we just call it Face Kicked Apparel? And
I love it.
People could find me, and then everybody was like, all right, you gotta go Face Kick, gotta go Face Kicked. I get tagged all the time in people's stuff.
Hey, that has a nice ring to it. I gotta admit, that has a nice damn ring to it. I love it. All right.
And this year, the new thing, before we move on to the next subject, this part's like really fun for me because like
I love it.
Watching my baby grow into what it is. Like now we've started a partnership with a gear company, so I make like the logos to put on tights and stuff for people. Okay. So I'm working with a lady out in Texas named Tina, and she runs Saffron Gear, and her stuff is amazing. Like shout out to Saffron Gear for everything she's done. Like I had a brand new set I wore at Chaos the other day that I felt like a rock star. So like if anybody's looking, I'm gonna say Saffron.
Definitely shout out to them. Always happy to have my guests plug anybody they're wanting to give a shout out to. I have two categories here. One's a bit of a name game where I name off some people. You give me some quick thoughts on them. First thoughts that pop into your head. Excuse me, been getting over something. But I try to theme it towards the guests as much as possible. And, seeing, Michigan. Michigan just kept on popping into my head. So each of these guys known for Michigan. First up, the whole effing show, RVD.
One of the coolest guys I met. He is awesome. Him and his wife both, like, they were sweethearts. Um, we were running Battle in the Creek at Pure Pro Wrestling for the last couple of years. We haven't done it in a while, and he was like the big name at the last one we did. They were awesome.
I've heard lots of good stuff about him. Getting to actually meet him in person.
Yeah,
He,
he was
he's,
nice.
he's one that I would love to, but I haven't quite yet.
Yeah, he was cool. I liked him a lot.
I've been lucky enough to meet a bunch of my favorites from Edge, Adam Copeland. I got a Elimination Chamber DVD cover where it looks like he's biting the cage.
Yeah,
I got that signed by him. I got figures signed by a number of my favorites up top here. So yeah, I've been lucky. RVD still on the list that I want to. Now, next up, good Lord, growing up, I remember I would always see these two walk into the ring in their Michigan jackets. The Steiner brothers.
monsters, dude. Such, and they're. I feel like they're a little ahead of their time. And I've only worked on a show with Scott once, and he was pretty cool. I liked him a lot. I never met Rick before, but Scott, he was pretty dope.
I've the reputation of his persona in front of the camera kind of made me a little nervous if I were to get to meet him, because I mean, big Papa Pump, and you see some of the you know in front of the camera, but then you see him behind the camera, and it's like, well, maybe he ain't so bad.
It's very chill. He was chill the day that I worked with him.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Now, these two synonymous with the Motor City Machine Guns.
They were what led me into loving tag team wrestling because I was tag team for as long as I could remember, and I was always heavy and could not do half the stuff they could do. But like watching it was really fun, and I've been on shows with both guys, and both guys same thing, man. They're so cool.
Yeah, I've been to shows and gotten to meet Shelly. Never got to meet Saban, but still, the stuff those guys can pull off, even today, it's like, yeah. As cool as that is to watch, there is no way in hell I'm getting my body to do anything like that.
Right.
I'm not. I was joking around today at work, having to bend down for something. I'm like, damn it, I'm not that fucking flexible. Yeah. All right. Next up, last but not least for the name game category, he has been polarizing before, but now I'm loving his podcast. 83 weeks. Eric Bischoff.
Genius.
Oh, absolutely.
Genius. Everything. Like there's actually a storyline that I pitched to a show for next year that is based off of his 3 minute warning storyline that I wanted to do. So like I'm borrowing from him, even though he was a manager, So it was kind of fun, And I met him just at the last IWR WrestleFest that they had. They had this big 2 day show, and he was one of the vendors there, and he was so cool. Just
Nice.
for him to come up and just talk to us, like we didn't have, he came to us and was, kind of bullshit with us. So that was neat.
Oh, yeah. He's somebody I would definitely love to sit and pick his brain for a little bit. Like, just the stories that guy could tell. I know, oh, God. I went down a rabbit hole one time. I have my late grandpa on my mom's side served in the Korean War. And that got me down a rabbit hole of like, Korean War stuff and then North Korea stuff, watching the travel videos on YouTube and all of that. And then I came across the whole thing of the WCW deal that happened in Pyongyang, North Korea. And I'm like, wait, what? and then hearing his stories on that from like the Dark Side of the Ring episode, man, that was some crazy shit. So getting to ask him personally about some of that stuff, it would just be, man, you could just have me just sitting back and I'm like, dude, this is awesome.
Yeah.
That would be something I would enjoy. Now I have some random questions here. Some wrestling related, some not. That's why random. But speaking of crazy, first question I have here: what is the craziest in-match moment for you?
I would say I was the Michigan State heavyweight champion, and the promoter surprised me with Rhino, and Rhino was he was my childhood hero. But it wasn't advertised. He didn't say nothing. And then I'm like, all right, well, what am I doing? He's like, you get the name. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, you get Rhino tonight. You're the champ. That's what you do. And I'm like, okay, so I'm sitting there about to piss my pants, but then I go and talk to him, and he's super cool. He's joking around, laughing and everything. And he gets to talk, and and he goes, okay, you remember everything? And I'm like, which one? We just described three different things here, and then we go out there. Well, then Rhino, he's a big germaphobe, and in the first match, a guy puked all over the ring.
Oh, gee.
Somebody did what? And his face, dropped, just turned white. He's like, oh man. He goes, we're gonna do ECW rules. We're gonna just wrestle on the outside of the ring. It's like, okay. So I think that would be one of the most made me feel like a wrestler moments.
That would definitely fit. Getting surprised with a match against Rhino.
Yeah.
Wow, that is something.
That was a fun one.
I've had a few people from the ECW, original ECW, as I like to call it, come on the show. I've had Jason Knight. That was fun. I also had Lloyd Anoa'i tell me about a match against New Jack. Yeah, getting told to be careful with the arena, not to having to pay back for damages or whatever. And then they both proceed to end up going through a wall.
Yeah.
And Paul Heyman screaming at them after the match. That is one of those answers to that question that it sticks in my head to this day. Because it's just like, yeah, that would fit. I've had, oh God, what was the other one that I was just thinking of? I had a guest come on that they're a world traveler, and they did a show in Puerto Rico that they wore a shirt that said, both in English and in Spanish, "Justice for Brody." And I was just like, I want to go back and watch that episode again just to see the look on my face when he mentioned that, because knowing the story behind that, it's just like, oh shit. Do you want to die? He told me he literally got told by the promoter. Somebody had told the promoter, if you bring that guy back, he ain't making it home.
Jeez.
It's just like, good grief, man. You hear about, people being like a, air quotes, true heel. There ain't nobody that does it like that anymore.
No, and you can't anymore either. You definitely cannot do that stuff at all, even close.
Yep. Now, a little more lighthearted of a question. We're, as of recording, inching closer to Halloween. synonymous with candy. I got a little bit of a sweet tooth. What is your favorite Halloween candy or just candy in general?
Reese's Fast Break
Solid.
or anything Reese's peanut buttery.
Oh yeah, the peanut butter cups. I'm a big fan of the Reese's sticks.
Yeah.
Like I've had people that didn't know what they were, and I'm like, just think a Kit Kat, but
Yeah.
Reese's.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. They're freaking delicious. I get them all the freaking time.
We just went trunk or treating with the kids, and I always tell them, "All right, I get your Reese's, whatever Reese's you get them." They look at me.
Yeah, the dad tax.
Yep.
Yeah, I got to make sure they're not poison.
Yeah. Gotta check just these ones.
Yep. My wife actually got me the hoodie from Grunt Style that literally said "Dad tax," making sure it's not poison.
That's funny.
Dude, I love it. I laughed and said, "Man, I was gonna buy that for myself."
That's funny.
My wife and my mother-in-law have bought me. That's the second shirt that they've got me that I laughed and said, I was gonna buy that for myself. Like I actually have the sticker for one of them on the back of my car right now. It's a grumpy old vet. I do what I want.
That's funny.
Like, yep, I was gonna get that one for myself, but hey, now I have it.
Yeah. And you saved yourself some bucks.
Oh, just myself a little bit of money right there. All right, now another thing, Halloween season. I have the past few years actually been able to somewhat get into some scary movies because growing up that was just not my thing. I steer clear of all of it. Now Michael Myers, Jason, I can get into the slasher stuff. I still can't do the demonic possession shit. Nope, there's a reason they say during a lot of those based on a true story, I'm not fucking with that shit.
Nope.
Scary movies, yes or no?
Yes.
Just
Yes.
depending on just not the demonic possession stuff.
Like the doll was Annabelle. That one was creepy. You know what I mean? Possessed
Yeah,
dolls. Or like was that The Ring where the girl came out of the TV?
yeah,
You know?
that's kind of borderline for me. Like I can kind of, but yeah, I'm definitely not watching it by myself for the first time. I'm telling you that damn much.
But like the slashers, I like the Saw series. I like and the Jason movies and all those. The Screams. I think the Screams are more comedy than anything.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh God, some of the weight, or oh God, what's the? I guess technically scary movie. The Final Destination movies. And
Yeah.
some of the ways people die in those movies is just plain fucking funny.
Yep.
Like I forget which one in the series, but I remember. Lord knows I've been guilty of it when growing up. Kid around some office building, and there was like pigeons, and chase the pigeons. They scare a freaking crane operator, and he drops a pane of glass and just splat.
Yeah.
I saw that, and I'm sorry, but I laughed my ass off at that one. That was funny.
Some of them are funny because they're ridiculous.
Oh yeah, some of the ways people die in those movies is just plain ridiculous. It's just funny.
But then every time you see a truck on the expressway with the logs on it, you go,
Oh
"Oh
God,
no!"
the logs, or even just like planks of wood.
Yeah.
Like
Nope.
nope, I'm getting around that.
I've seen this movie.
Yep, nope, not going down that one. Yeah. Oh God, and when they started doing some of those where, the planks of wood or a spike or something with the 3D versions of the movies, I'm like, oh God, are you wanting me to shit my pants? Because I kid you not, coming back from work one day when I was working about an hour away from where I live right now, I'm passing by a semi, and all of a sudden, I'm like halfway down the trailer, and all of a sudden, I just hear this like loud explosion. I'm like white knuckle, like oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck.
Oh, no.
I look in my rearview mirror as I'm still going down the road, only to see that apparently a tire on the passenger side of the semi had completely exploded right as I was passing by it.
Jeez.
I dialed up my wife, Bluetooth in my car, and I kid you not, I said, hey babe, I think I need a change of pants. She's like, what happened? I'm like, semi's tire literally just exploded right beside me. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
final destination shit right there. I was just lucky I was further along the damn semi when it freaking happened.
No
Damn,
kidding.
that shit was loud.
Never heard a semi truck tire explode, but I imagine it'd be loud.
Oh god, that was freaking loud as hell. It's something like another one of those unforgettable experiences. I laugh about it now, but I swear I damn near shit myself. Not even ashamed to admit it. Now, with the name of a show like I have, I feel like I have to ask this one. Favorite drink, alcoholic or otherwise, or hell, both.
Oh man, I think my relaxy drink is either a Jack and Coke or the hard Mountain Dews,
Ah, yeah.
and then just a regular drink. I'd say just a regular Mountain Dew, Code Red.
Code Red. I am a Dr. Pepper fiend, but Code Red's another like solid like second for me. I do love the Code Red Mountain Dew for sure. Although I will say when I first started hearing about the hard Mountain Dews, I'm like, good Lord, what do we exactly what we need right now? A bunch of energetic drunks. Hey, you get the caffeine from the Mountain Dew, and then you get the booze from making it the hard Mountain Dew, and now you got a bunch of energetic drunks. I'm like, oh, that is gonna be funny.
God, that was like when the Four Locos came out when they were advertising those are energy drink at first. Oh man,
Oh man.
those are gross. Those are gross.
I know a couple people that rave about those. I've yet to ever actually have one.
Oh my god, I didn't even finish it. I took like maybe 3 sips of it. I was like, "Yep, I'm done with that."
I've only ever not finished a drink somebody gave me one time, and it was actually a PBR. But nothing against PBR. Like if I start out on that, fine. If I start drinking some of the other stuff that I actually like, and then somebody hands me one of those, I swear it tastes like the freaking spray coming out of a skunk.
Yep.
It was nasty.
That's like if you go to those Miller Lite too after drinking something else, same thing. It's just,
Yeah,
it's a
no.
weird aftertaste. I don't know how to describe it, but it's got a weird aftertaste.
Yeah, no. Like I said, if I start out with it first, okay, we're fine. But yeah, after I've already been drinking other stuff, no, not doing it.
What's your go-to drink?
Oh, mine. Well, one that's a little more readily available to me, since one of my actual favorites, Stone
I
Cold's
like that one.
Broken Skull American Lager. The closest they sell that to me is about 3 hours away.
Ugh.
But I do enjoy what is it? Kona Big Wave. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, yeah.
And then There's a few different flavors of these Modelo Cheladas.
I just had the lime one not too long ago. That was all right.
I've had the lime. I've had this one. I've had the one that I somewhat surprised I really liked was the watermelon one. That was actually pretty delicious. But yeah, those and then Jack and Coke, I do enjoy those. I like putting grenadine in mine.
That'd be good. Yeah, yeah.
It tastes like a Jack and Cherry Coke.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking delicious. But other than that, Dr. Pepper, I like my wife likes to tell me I got a problem. As long as I got some in the house, I ain't got a problem.
Yeah.
We're good. All right. Now, last but not least here, best advice you have for anybody wanting to get into wrestling.
Just do it. Just do it. You're never gonna know until you do it. You know what I mean? A lot of people say, well, I gotta get in shape for you. You're gonna get shape in training anyway, running around and lifting people and up and down, up and down. You're gonna lose weight anyways. Just do it. I mean, just do it. Have fun. You know, be safe and listen.
Oh yeah. And then I've also had people, when given that same answer, also mention, maybe you find out in that initial part of training that maybe the in-ring part isn't what's going to be your part, but there's referee, manager, there's all sorts of stuff for production in the show.
Mm-hmm.
That you can find your avenue into the business that might just not be that in-ring wrestling side of it.
Right.
So yeah, always there's room for everybody. It's just a matter of figuring out where that spot is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we go, where can people find you social media wise? So if they don't already have their eyes on you, they can go ahead and get them there.
I mean, I have Facebook under Sean Evans, Instagram, Sean Evans 25, I think it is. You can find me on Face Kicked Apparel. I'm pretty much everywhere.
All right. We'll get all of that in the description. Want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me tonight. Been an absolute pleasure, and you are welcome back anytime.
Thank you. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. This is a good one.
Thank you. Means a lot. My issue with the fucking button. Let's see if I actually get it.